Oh, that's right.
You get a mic and everything.
Okay. Good morning. I'd like to call the reorganizational meeting of the Iroquois Central School District Board of Education to order. Please stand for the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. The first order of business is the swearing in of our new board member and the superintendent.
He'll need a mic. Or no, he has, or never mind. Now he stands, he's not by a mic, you have to hold the mic up.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I'm
And then just
multifaceted.
repeat after me. I, Todd Eichinger,
I, Todd Eichinger,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the
one be the
Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of trustee of the Iroquois Board of Education
of trustee of the Iroquois Board of Education
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Why, thank you.
If you could sign the book. Find your thing here.
Now it's too late to run, Ted. What's that? Now it's too late to run.
You're supposed to repeat after me.
Oh.
You're ours for the next 5 years.
Now we'll swear in the superintendent of schools. Repeat after me. I, Douglas R. Schofield,
I, Douglas R. Schofield,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the superintendent of the Iroquois Central School District
the duties of the superintendent of the Iroquois Central School District
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
If you want to.
Welcome.
It should be, yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Now we will have the election of officers. Are there any nominations for the President of the Board of Education?
I would like to nominate Jim Mecklick.
Any other nominations? Okay. So the motion is by Jane. Seconded by
Heather?
Heather. Votes?
Discussion.
Discussion? No? Vote? Everyone says yes?
Ayes?
Okay, unanimous. Thank you.
Nays? Abstain?
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Thank you.
You have to take your oath of office now?
I never saw anyone leave the seat so fast.
Oh, you're actually moving your seats.
I guess so.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you don't have to do this part. Okay. Just repeat after me. I, James Michaelak,
I, James Michaelak,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of President of the Board of Education
of President of the Board of Education
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Now Jane kicked me out of my seat.
Hey, that's how it happens. Here you go.
Get yourself organized, because you're going to do the Vice President.
Okay. So where am I right now?
Okay, so you are going to, okay, this is your script.
I
I'm
start
going
right
to
here,
read
right?
that first.
Okay.
Okay.
Are there any nominations for Vice President of the Board of Education?
I would like to nominate Heather Becker.
Second?
I'd like to nominate Keith.
Do we have to second?
No, actually, you don't have to second.
Okay,
No, you have to
okay,
just
okay.
get the nominations,
Okay.
then you have a discussion.
Well,
So,
Hold on.
Heather, Keith,
So Jane has nominated Heather Becker. And Heather Jacobs nominated Keith. Any other ones? Okay, all those, discussion?
discussion.
Abstentions?
I actually do, I just have a question, because, my concern would be that Keith has missed several meetings throughout the first year that he was on the board, and, because of his work schedule, totally legitimate reasons. But I would be concerned that in a board leadership position, we would need somebody who's, been at meetings and is able to attend meetings, because being in a board leadership position, it's more meetings. So if a work schedule issue prevents him from coming to meetings, I would be concerned that that would be an issue for our leadership. Sorry, Keith.
Mike, please.
So my schedule hasn't changed a whole lot. However, in a board leadership position, I think I do have the ability to carve out the appropriate time to make sure that the attendance is there. So if I was nominated, I understand the level of responsibility and the level of meetings that are required to accurately represent the board, because I think that's the intent, right? If you're going to be in board leadership, you got to make sure you're present, you're attending meetings, or you're making sure you have the appropriate presence. So, I mean, if I'm nominated, then I would make certain that my calendar and schedule meets the requirements or exceeds the requirements for to be present.
Just really quick in discussion, and only just because we have, I mean, we didn't ever ask, did you accept the nomination, or? Just make sure that
Yes.
we're, and Keith, I'm assuming you did too, Byron.
Yeah, I'll accept the nomination.
Okay, just. Any further discussion? Move to vote, right?
Move to vote.
Okay. So we move to, do Keith first?
Well,
Who is-
Heather was nominated.
Yeah, I would just do an order of how it was nominated, or you could do it alphabetical either way. Those are the two normal ways. Sorry, Keith, I wasn't trying to slight you, but both of those. It's not a complicated, there's two people.
Okay. So I guess we'll do, Heather was nominated first. We'll do Heather. So all in favor?
And who's in favor of Heather? Because the other people, who's in favor of Keith?
Yes.
Yes.
I know, it's awkward.
Yes, well, I would hope so.
You don't have to, you can abstain, or you can vote for the other person, depending on your feelings. No, you can't vote twice.
All in favor of Heather, raise your hand.
Yeah, all in favor of Heather, raise your hand. Okay. Do we go
Now in favor of Keith?
all in favor of Keith, raise your hand.
So
So,
Keith would be the one for the motion now.
Okay.
motion to appoint,
Yeah, just this one right here. Motion to appoint.
This one.
Yep.
Nomination of Vice President of the Board of Education to assume all legal duties of the President in absence of the President or when the President is unable to attend a function for the 2024-2025 school year.
Keith Vergeen.
Keith Vergeen,
So we need a motion.
motion for Keith.
A motion.
Motion by Todd, second for Keith. Second by Heather Becker. All in favor of Keith, please raise their hand.
Oh, wait a minute.
No.
Wasn't the first vote?
No, that's to see who is going to be on the nomination.
Oh, okay.
So now you
That's
have
what I first
7
got
people in
confused there.
favor. How many nays? Abstain? So 0-0, so 7-0-0. Congratulations. Jane, what did I do? You just keep moving further and further away from me.
Next time she's gonna take Dave's seat by the door.
Matt.
No, Dave can keep his seat.
Okay, we're gonna need a microphone again.
Yeah, let's go.
I, Keith Vergeen,
I, Keith Vergeen,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of Vice President
the duties of the office of the Vice President
of the Iroquois Board of Education
of the Iroquois Board of Education
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We get these, we fill these in first. Then when they're filled in, we come back here.
To this.
You read that, and then we do this resolution for the following individuals.
Okay.
And you do like 3.0.
So I'm gonna start right here.
Yeah, read this.
Read this right
Here, I
here.
can do that. Okay, so now if everyone turns in their agenda to 3.26, before we do any other items, we need names for 3.26 through 3.73 for where you are going to be doing additional services. That's like the, what are they? Representative Erie County School Boards, alternate, audit committee, wellness committee, people are going to be on the different committees. Oh, sorry, it starts at 3.25.
I did give an explanation in board docs for these different committees. Hopefully you looked at them.
So the first one on 3.25 is the delegate for Erie County.
Okay.
Who was it
If I can-
last year? Go
If I
ahead.
can jump in, I prefer not to be nominated to any of the Erie County positions because I work there, and it makes it really easy for me to fill in if our designated person and then our alternate can't be there, I'll be there. So I'm kind of the backup for all of it, if that makes sense. There's 6 positions and 7 people on the board, so I like to step back.
Okay, so the first would be the delegate to the Erie County Association of School Board.
So Keith and I were primary and alternate last year. I've been on it the last 3 years, so I'm going to try to pick a different committee to be on.
This is actually a really good committee for someone who's brand new because you get to meet all the school board members. They only meet 3 times.
Yeah, and what that is that's ECASB, we normally refer it to, and they're the local group that arranges trainings and advocacy for boards, so it's a good way to meet other board members and hear what they're doing in their district and so on.
Okay, next would be the 3.26, the alternate.
I'll do the alternate for Todd. I was on it last year, so.
3.27 is the representative Erie County Legislative Committee. I've done that the last 2 years. I would like to do it again. Okay.
So, Jim, Heather, you're the alternate?
This next one's tough. I don't know if I can fill Chuck's shoes.
It's
Chuck,
easy.
If you're listening, we already miss you.
We got it taped, 20 minutes?
I could repeat it for you.
Okay, all right. So I'll sign up for that one.
And then there's the alternate.
Bob's going to do the alternate.
Okay, next we're on to 3.31, Board of Education Representative to the Iroquois School District Audit Committee.
John, how often does the audit committee meet? Need a mic.
2 or 3, maybe 4 times a year.
2 or 3, maybe 4 times a year, and the auditors report directly to them. They're the representative of the board for that.
I'll jump on that one.
Jane?
Yeah.
.32, Board of Education Representative to the Wellness Committee.
And John, how much do they meet?
Well, it's just 2 or 3 times a year. Typically around 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
I do that. Becker?
I'll be the alternate for Heather.
There's no
There's an alternate.
Well, we can make an alternate for you.
The next one, 3.3, the representative to the District Wall of Fame.
Athletic one.
No, this is just the one.
This is
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped one. My mistake.
The Iroquois, this is the Iroquois Foundation? Okay.
No, you want the athletic
You
one.
want the athletic?
You've been, you want, okay.
Okay. Michelle, help me.
You have been on both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were on this one you were last year. It's with the foundation with, with Marco
Yep.
and,
Okay.
yeah.
And then the Wall of Fame Committee.
And then the next one would be the athletic.
Doing that one too?
You're going to do both of them again? Okay.
Board of Education Representative to ITAC, it takes the community.
Yeah,
Todd?
I've done it the last 3 years. I can do it again if nobody else
I think
wants it.
Todd.
Todd said.
Todd, okay. Yeah,
The 3.36, representative to Iroquois School District Safety Team.
I can be on that if no one wants it. How often do they meet? Same thing, 3 times-ish a year?
The safety team, I think, is only the one, they look at the safety plan once. I think that's more of, not even a meeting, they send it out and it's reviewed.
Pretty easy.
Can I do that? I'm all about safety.
No, I think it's good though, as board members though, that we
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
change committees up just to kind of learn
That's next, right?
different
Yeah, just say,
areas of the school.
we're just going to not nominate anyone, because we're going to discuss that district planning conference.
Okay, and then for 3.37, I would like to suggest that we hold off on making nominations to the ambassador program, because a lot of the board has discussed rediscussing the whole ambassador program and how it should or, should not work. So I don't think nominating people to it, if there's going to be a change, makes any sense at this point.
So we're tabling 3?
Yeah, it would be tabled, and then it would be discussed at the district planning conference, and any action, if you table something, is at the next board meeting, which would also be at the district planning conference.
I would support that.
Just,
Do we have to actually motion to remove it from the agenda?
No, because we would have to remove the whole thing.
Okay.
So we're just going to table it.
I think that's it.
That's it. And then, so now, Jim, we would need a motion to approve. This is not a consensus agenda, so we have to vote on each and every item.
so we're going to read this
So we
first.
want,
She just did it for you.
Okay,
So then just resolution to appoint the following individuals for 3.0.
go one by one then, right?
3.0,
01.
3.03.
I don't have it in here, Jim, it's a mistake.
Yeah, 3.0.
Oh, one, right?
Yeah, 01.
3.01.
Yep.
Okay, do we have a motion for, to
Can
approve?
we just wanted to ask a question. So-
Yeah.
So some of these titles, I'm not familiar with, like, what the role entails. Is there something on our website that indicates, like,
That I don't know, so which one?
well, I don't know, district RTI coordinator, just as an example, like.
District RTI coordinator, that's response to intervention. Which number is that?
339. I mean, it's just one that I picked out.
No, that's fine. Yeah, during discussion, we would do it, 339, and that's Mary Jo, because that's the assistant superintendent, and what they do is, I don't know what regulation or ever said we have to appoint it. If we didn't appoint it, she'd still be in charge of it as a assistant superintendent for curriculum, because they oversee the process that are done for the response to intervention, to
And
move
is this
forward.
part of, like, their normal job responsibilities?
It is
or
actually part, some of them it is, and some of it's extra. So if you take the clerk of the board, Nora, she's the assistant to the superintendent. So this is a different one, and that's where John, as part of his business official, he's the business official, but we appoint him to deputy clerk. It could be Dave. But this is who we traditionally have it, so if Nora wasn't here in her capacity, John would do it. So he's attended trainings on how to take the notes and meetings and everything.
So some of them are stipend positions, some of them are not.
The clerk is, the deputy clerk is not, the treasurer, that's just her position, the assistant treasurer is not, the tax collectors are not,
Okay.
none of the, I'm looking for another stipend position in here. There's not, I'm just making sure I don't miss one.
The stipends are covered later.
Oh, the architect, obviously, that's a professional service we hire. Fiscal advisor, that's a professional service we hire.
No, I mean, I think my point was just wondering
Yeah.
what the job entails, so, but.
Well, email me, we can go over any one you want at the district planning conference, I can add it to
Yeah.
that. That would actually be the best way to do it.
Okay, I mean, if everyone else thinks it's
Yeah.
relevant, I don't know what you mean. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and for anyone, anything on here that you want more detail on, we can definitely, always email ahead of time so we can have those answers here, descriptions.
Okay.
So is there a motion to approve 3.01 to 3.5 to appoint the following individuals? Motion by Bob, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Keith. All in favor?
Discussion.
Discussion?
It's just, we're doing just 3.1?
Yeah, just
No,
threes.
It's,
Or
the item number is 3.1. The sub-item numbers go up to 3.50. So the resolution is to approve 3.01.
It'll take care of all the positions I went over.
Okay.
Everything
Well,
that has a 3 in front of
Then I'm
it.
going to have to abstain because some of them are for things that I work for.
Is he on this one?
He's not on this one.
Jane, do you want to abstain?
I'm going to have to abstain because I work for E ECASB. But I actually support
Is
it.
that one in here?
No, but these other, the board,
Oh, the board ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, was there any more discussion? Okay, we had the first and the second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next is item 4, official bank depositories. Is there a motion to approve item 4? First, motion by Heather, second? By Heather, double H. Discussion?
We did have a question on it, John. Evans Bank, I don't see it on here. Have we ever looked at them or done anything with them?
I think it used to be on there as a backup. We have a couple of these banks we don't use very much, but we want to have them as a backup in case we need them. But Evans is removed because there was no activity for many, many years.
Do you go out normally and look at banks and see what rates are in different, every so many years and compare them?
We do a comparison just on, we can go right to websites and look at different comparative things. So that's done periodically. But we've seen the best with JP Morgan. That's our primary bank that we use.
Thank you.
That's nice that they're building a branch in East Aurora. Yeah, because they have a brick and mortar locally.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I knew a lot of them went out years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, we had any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the official school newspaper. The superintendent recommends to approve the Buffalo News, East Aurora Advertiser, and or East Aurora Bee. Jane will be abstaining on this one because she works for the paper. So a motion for 501. First by Heather, second by Bob. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is item 6.01, authorization, resolution of authorizations. Superintendent recommends the approval of the following authorizations. A motion?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is item 7.01, building use fees. The superintendent recommends its approval. Motion? Second? Discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Next item, number 8.01, facility use charges.
Yeah, I have a question on that one. Sorry. So for the athletic field across the street?
On the facility use charges?
Yeah.
Okay, let's, we can do the motion in a second, then we'll have a discussion on
All
it.
right, okay, that's fine.
Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, so for the initial setup, it says $736 for the setup of the field. And I didn't know, to me, that sounded like that was a lot of money, but what is that
That
actually?
John does that.
That is not the turf. Are you looking at the,
Athletic field fee schedule for initial setup?
I think setup would be like fully lining a field with chalk and a lot of time spent. So that's why that charge seems high. It's very rare we do a full lining of a field for somebody.
Okay, so I thought that was for the turf field. Okay,
Well, turf's in the lower right with in the colored
Right.
shaded box, yeah.
right, okay. Thanks.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next is item 9.01, resolution to approve use of voting devices and to designate the annual budget vote and Board of Elections. Motion? By Heather, second.
Second.
By Jane, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next, item 10, Board Policies and Regulations. 10.01, the Board of Education renews and affirms all existing and revised board policies and regulations. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
I was glad to see we didn't have any mascot references in our policies. Board docs was very handy to search
To
through.
do the search, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah. I didn't think there'd be any, but it was good.
Yeah, I
There
didn't.
wasn't.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next, 11.01, the Board of Education adopts and renews the Code of Conduct for 24-25. Second? Discussion?
I think it's important that we make a note that we did have a meeting last Wednesday where we had some conversation about the code of conduct and the use of the old logo on students' clothing when they come to school, and that this code of conduct does reflect that students are allowed to wear their old chief logo T-shirts or whatever, to school.
But per the guidelines, it's for staff, it's different.
It's different for staff. Students would be allowed, but staff would not when they're working in their official capacity.
And that's just because the
Regulations
clearly
part
call
1,
that
2,
out.
3, yes.
Yeah, okay. And is that going to be communicated to the staff?
Definitely, it already has once,
Okay.
but we're going to do it again. In fact, on opening day, we'll talk about it,
Okay,
just to make sure everyone's aware of it, because I could see staff members saying, well, I can't wear it, why is a student wearing it? Send them to the office. I would not want a student to go through that. So opening day is a good day, because next day students show up and they'll be well aware of it immediately.
okay. And as board members, obviously none of us are going to come with chief stuff to board meetings, but are we considered staff?
When you're working in your official capacity, you are, but when you're outside your official capacity, you are not. So,
Okay.
If you're walking around,
Okay,
by all means.
okay.
And on this one, Heather Becker, you're abstaining? It's Hazard down there abstaining.
Yes.
Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? The motion carries with Heather Becker abstaining. Next is 12.01, Athletic Code of Conduct. The Board of Education adopts and renews the Athletic Code of Conduct for 24-25 school year. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, I think that's something we do need to talk about, I know it clearly states in the athletic code of conduct documentation just about spectator expectations. And I know that we had a couple issues in the spring with parents and referees and umps, and I think that we're going to have to revisit what the consequences are with Carrie Better at some point to ensure that parents know that the umpires and refs, and as a spectator, what their roles and responsibilities are, because I know that we've had an issue, and I don't want to be Iroquois to be like a place where umpires and refs don't want to officiate our games because of our spectator conduct. So it's not something we need to talk about now, but something we're going to need to talk about to ensure that there's consequences. Considering there's an officiating shortage, I just don't want to get to the point where we can't have matches because we're that school that maybe is not being respectful at all times, but we can discuss that at a later point in time. But it does say that it's prohibited, but there's no, if this happens, the following will happen.
There's actually Section 6 takes care of that.
Okay.
Section 6 puts something out where you have to actually go to an 8-hour class.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a punishment, not through us.
From a game, like.
For parents too?
Yeah.
This is for
parents.
spectators,
Okay.
period, whether you're a parent or not.
If you're in
Okay.
house state, you have to, before you're allowed back in the sporting event.
Okay.
Yeah, and the hard part that we discuss at our level about enforcing that is if, I don't know, I'll pick on Dave. Dave does something inappropriate in our stands here, and we oust him, and then there's the same competition, same sport is at Williamsville, and he goes to Williamsville, how will Williamsville know?
Right.
And it makes it even harder if he's there just as someone who likes the sport, and so we can't associate him with a child that's going to a sport. Because I know we had some visiting schools here that were inappropriate with the parents, so okay, we know who they are, where we can't let them in, but then how does, and I'll say they were from school A, now the next team goes to school B and we're school C, well, how does B know, because they're not
Yeah.
from either one of
gets
them
a
or the
little
place it happened, and that's where the section's having trouble with it,
Yeah.
but they are trying to do that exactly, so it goes beyond us, it's the
Yeah.
section.
But I guess we have to make sure our parents, whether they're on our home turf or
Yeah.
away turf, like, these guidelines are followed, so.
Right, and it's even the spectators more than that, because, we can send home notices with the kids, we have every coach give a notice, but then what happens again if Dave has no kid there and he shows up to watch, Tiddlywinks, and,
Yeah.
and he just likes to watch it. I mean, there are spectators
Yeah.
that just come.
And maybe just, sending home a reminder, and then maybe in the building, messages from the principals, just make it a little bit front and center, just so the parents know that it's a topic of conversation.
Yeah.
At least with our parents. I mean, I think we could try to inform our parents, you're right, it's gonna be very difficult to stop Dave,
Yeah.
He's a crazy guy, but sorry, Dave, to keep using you. But like even that, like just a note going home and explaining their section rules to the parents would
Okay.
go a long way, because I know there's parent meetings too that they happen before different sports.
Yeah, okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next, 13, professional development. 13.01, the Board of Education renews and adopts the professional development plan for its annual adoption with the addition of the 2024-2025 district goals upon Board of Education approval. Motion?
So moved.
Second? First by Jane, second by Heather. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next, 14.01, the superintendent recommends the appointment of the members of the following committees. And they're listed below. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
No.
All opposed?
Is it unanimous, just to be
Yes.
clear, because there was a
Yeah.
delay?
Yes. Motion carries. 15, memberships, 15.01, cooperatives. The superintendent recommends the Board of Education affirm its memberships in the following cooperatives for 2000.
Usually, Jim, for this one, we just say for us to be a member of Niagara Orleans BOCES for bidding purposes rather than read the whole thing.
Okay. So there you go. Motion,
So moved.
first by Jane, second?
Second.
Second by Heather Jacobs. Discussion? All in favor?
Wait, who did that? I'm sorry.
Jane was first, Heather Jacobs was second.
She's taking
Uh,
trucks roll.
Can we take another vote on the one, because Heather Baker should have abstained,
Why?
because Kevin's on the previous one. The committees?
It's just a committee. It's not a paid position or anything.
What number is that one?
14.01 is what you're.
21.25. Okay. Then yeah, that's coming up, right?
Yeah, we're not at 21 yet.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay, just, so we're on 15, which was the cooperatives. It was motion by Jane, second by Heather. We'll just do it again. Any discussion? All in favor?
Okay, thank you.
All opposed? So it's unanimous. Number 16, 16.01, Omni Group. The superintendent recommends approval of the continued use of the Omni Group as a third-party provider for the district's 403B and 457 plans. Motion?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Jane, second by Keith. Discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes unanimously.
The next three are the same thing as the other one. This is Superintendent Renz, the board approved the following resolution to be part of Niagara-Orleans BOCES and be part of Erie 1 BOCES, then part of Erie 2 BOCES.
Okay. Okay, 17.01 is the superintendent recommends that we be part of Orleans Niagara BOCES.
So moved.
Second.
First by Jane, second by Keith. Discussion?
These are all for bidding, so we can use anything that they bid out and use those services.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously. 18 is the same thing. This is for Erie 1 BOCES.
So moved.
Second.
Ditto, Jane and Keith, and the first and second. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Number 19, 19.01 is the same for Erie 2 BOCES.
So moved.
Second.
Jane and Keith, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carries unanimously. Number 20, 20.01 bid contracts.
So moved.
First by Jane, second by Heather Becker. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? The motion carries unanimously. 21, 21.01 government donated food. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
First by Jane, second by Heather Jacobs. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, 22 is 22.01, pay rates. The superintendent recommends approval. Motion?
So moved.
First by Jane, second?
Second.
Second by Heather Becker. Discussion?
Yeah, I was wondering, what is the outside of the school day detention?
That'd be like Saturday detention. We have those sometimes, depending on the offense the kid has, the student has.
Saturday.
Saturday,
Wow.
yeah,
Did you hear that, kids? There's Saturday detention.
Saturday.
The changes from last year to this year, is that just to keep us competitive in our rates?
Yes, I'm looking at their two heads and they're nodding yes.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. 23, we're doing substitute pay raises. 23.01, superintendent recommends its approval. Motion?
So moved.
Second? First by Jane, second by Keith. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. 24.01 is further substitute pay rates. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
First by Jane, second by Keith. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. 25.01 mileage rates. Recommend approval by the superintendent. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, Todd.
First by Jane, second by Todd. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next one is the repair reserve refund, 26.01, recommended by the superintendent. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
First by Jane, second by Keith. All in discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next is 27 providers. 27.01 providers. Superintendent recommends approval of the motion. Motion
So moved.
by Jane,
Second.
second by Keith. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. 28.01, the standard workday. The motion is recommended by the superintendent. First, Jane.
So moved.
Second.
First by Jane, second by Heather Becker. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. 29.01, qualified leaders, evaluators.
So moved.
First by Jane, second
Second.
by Heather Becker. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. 29.02, qualified leaders, is recommended by the superintendent. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
First by Jane, second by Keith. Discussion?
What's the difference between 2901 and 02?
One's for evaluating administrators, ours for evaluating teachers.
Right, okay, thank you.
Further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And
That's it.
that concludes the reorg meeting.
So thank you, everyone, for allowing us to going through all that so we can do business. I always do wonder why every year we have to do this with the state when you can see a lot of things don't change. But thank you very much for doing it. Matt, we're going to need the
Now we have another meeting.
Matt, we're going to need the presentation.
Now we move into the special board meeting.
Do we have to end the first meeting, or do we just go right into it?
You go right into it.
How do I find it? Where did it go? How do I get out of this meeting? Meetings, there we go. Okay. Get to that, I'm usually these paper copies from the last 3 years ago. Okay.
All right.
So we'd like to call to order our special meeting at 8:46, and we will go to the superintendent's public hearing and safety plan.
So with the safety plan, I just lost it behind me, Matt, somehow. But this is something that's required by the state that we go through it annually. It really hasn't changed significantly. So it's just Save Against Violence. I don't want to read it to you. You can see it. There's different legislation to require it steps of district-wide emergency response safety teams. And all this is done, we have the SRO, so they take care of pretty much all of this in coordination with the principals. There's only so much of it that's out to the public because we don't want people to know our safety plans, because some of the emergencies, some of the life-threatening emergencies, we wouldn't want people to know how we react, which is always very interesting in training the students of what to do and the teachers, because either group could have someone in them that crosses the line. And so therefore, they have to know what to do, but they also have to have the freedom to make choices on the spot. It includes all this stuff in the policy, and we do a lot of communication with parents, is one of them in there. The agencies come in here, the SROs have a great relationship, so that's really good. Fire company, the sheriffs, the state troopers. Then there's the building level, so each building has one. This is the confidential piece of it. Obviously, it's not all confidential, because where we evacuate to, we have permission from all those groups to evacuate to those buildings. And also, we have a plan of how we can call buses back to transport kids other locations. Additions, so this is what happened in 21-22 and 23-24 school years. They passed it, and this is the public health. This has to do with COVID. So they wanted something in all our plans in case there's another event like COVID. I think we worked through that pretty good here at Iroquois. Not that everyone's in agreement with the actions we did, but we followed the state regulations and did everything we could to provide instruction to the students. Trauma harm to students as a result of the drills, and the state's actually going through and doing that, because now they're saying, because we do drills, that the kids become scared and have trauma from that. And that's why what they're saying now is we have to announce them. So anytime it's we are working towards, not letting people know like it's going to be the week of or the month of, so it's more realistic, rather than everyone going, oh no, it's a drill, I don't have to do anything, and oh, I'll finish my little lesson that I'm talking, rather than move right into it, because we really try to practice as if it was happens. Like one thing I'm doing is every time there's a fire drill or a lockdown, the clerical of the building it's in has to call central office. Why? Because they never did it before, and you think, well, that's an easy thing to implement. Well, I said do it after each one, and oh, I forgot, oh, I did this. So we're trying to create habits of people when things happen. But the state is now saying we can't go the exact direction we want, which is fine. Plan amendments, definitions, and this is what they're talking about here. Trauma, what it means, and so on. It just defines them. With the state went ahead and did this, because honestly, people were complaining to the state that it was stressing their child off to have to practice a lockdown. Really, the fire drills have been around forever. It was the lockdown drills. We started doing lockdown drills before the state required it. Knock on wood, there was some stress, but in the beginning, but now kids have become very accustomed to it because they're doing them kindergarten on up, and the teachers take the time at the elementary level to explain to them. I think that education is a huge piece. Requires that one drill be trained in trauma-informed, developing, age-appropriate manner. We don't do the props or the actors or simulations here. There were some schools where they had people come in and they set off firecrackers or whatever to try to make it more realistic. We've never gone to that extreme. I'm just trying to get people to understand when something happens, you do what the teacher tells you. Unless you feel it's going to injure your health, and then you might have to make another call. Teachers do it, administrators do it, but you still have the freedom to make a choice, because if you hear something, see something, the administration might not know it. You have to go off and make some valued choices, and we're always going to support your choices in these situations. Let's see, floor plans, area maps, we take care of all this. Any questions? That's a quick review of what we do.
To the intermediate building, are they following like the middle school building plan, or did they create a new plan for that building?
They will have to have their own plan because it's a new building.
Okay.
But it will, if not be identical, be very, very close to the middle school. And the middle school is very close to the high school, because we actually, for the fire drills, we do them independently, but for the lockdown drills, we do it as the whole campus, since all the buildings are connected. They all do it at the same time and react the same way.
And the UPK app is obviously included in all these lockdown?
Yeah, they're all included.
Yeah,
Yep,
okay.
it's the whole building and everything, and the transportation garage and buildings and grounds are informed too.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Okay, we'll begin our meeting. Welcome to all those who have come to observe the meeting of the Iroquois Central School District Board of Education. There are 2 periods of recognition of guests listed on the meeting agenda. The first is for comments regarding agenda items. The second is for topics not on the agenda. Speakers may offer comments related to school operations and programs, but the board cannot hear personnel comments concerning any individual associated with the school system. Please address those comments to the appropriate administrator. If you wish to be recognized, please fill out the appropriate form and turn it into the district clerk. As per policy number 1514, public participation at board meetings. Public comment by district residents is limited to 15 minutes total unless the board suspends this limit. Each person is given up to 3 minutes to address the board. Additionally, no more than 3 people may speak on a single topic unless the board also waives this limitation. This is a meeting held in public rather than a public meeting, which means we do not engage in a dialogue with members of the community this morning. District personnel will follow up with you regarding your concern. Rest assured, we are listening carefully and take seriously what you have to say. Please demonstrate respect by speaking to the issues, sharing ideas and opinions, but not engaging in personal attacks. The board appreciates your willingness to share your concerns and celebrations. Please be advised that this meeting is being streamed live and the recording will be posted on the Iroquois website. Pledge of Allegiance. Would everyone please rise? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, board discussion and news worth sharing. I just want to point out really quick that if you notice your agendas, that our seal or the Red Hawks is on there, that it is July 2nd and it is July 1st. The district has successfully transitioned to the Red Hawks, and I would like to thank everyone for the amount of work and time it took to do this. So, thank you.
I would like to say too that graduation was absolutely amazing and very timely. I thought it was very efficiently run, a lot of great speakers, and I thought it was a really good event. So thank you for everyone that organized that. And Keith did a really great job on his speech.
It was all the high school, they'd take care of graduation. But they didn't take care of Keith, he did that on his own.
Well, yes, yeah, I did not just because it's kind of cool, but Keith, you did do a good job on your speech. I thought it was poignant and the right amount of time. I also want to...
Was it 25 minutes?
No. And I also want to thank, I think the district or the superintendent, I just think that the foresight to do it where we locate it is extremely important because there were plenty of parents around that were like rushing the graduations because they were outside and with the threat of rain. And I think it's just such a special moment for both parents, as we witnessed, and kids to try to rush it or reschedule it because of weather, which we can't control. Just shows a lot of, wisdom on the part of the administrator. So thank you.
Yeah. I really appreciate that because I know during COVID, we had a couple of them outside and people said, oh, it's so nice out here because we got lucky those years. And there was a push to move it outside permanently. We did not do that exactly for that reason because of, like, you had the heat the week before and so on. For the, I'll say 60, 70% of the time, it would be great. That 30% where it's bad, it's really bad. So thank you for that recognition. I will pass it along to the high school.
And I would just like to, once again, point out our new board member, Todd Eichinger, who is now with us. Thank you, Todd. Do we have any other items?
Yeah, just, so we're still planning on the 2-day conference for the summer conference?
Yes.
Same 2 full days?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep. Or at least that's what I interpreted from what I heard from the board of that they want to stick with that this year. Doesn't mean we can't change it for future years.
Okay.
Do you want me to put that as a discussion item at the end of the agenda?
No, I just wanted to confirm, just because of days off, of work and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
no, but I
it's,
can put it on as part of the district planning conference when it ends after the 2 days.
Okay.
Would we like to do it a different way if that's one of the discussion items the board would like to have?
so it's the 23rd and 24th, right?
Let me look to make sure, because I say it wrong.
I just wanted to make sure we're, well,
I think it's the 22nd. Tuesday and Wednesday. 23rd and 24th.
okay, 23rd, 24th, okay.
And just to follow up on that, if the superintendent could look at possibly, is there a way to do like one day that was board centered, where the board needed to be there, and the other day was more towards the administration of the district? Just not to answer now.
As president, I will be going over the agenda with you. My
For
current
next year?
plan, for this year even.
Okay.
But what my current plan was have the first day where the administrators would be there. The second day, John would be going over the financial reports in the morning, and that afternoon or the second day would be all the board discussions and everything. And that way, if John finishes early, all the board would be there to begin that earlier.
No, and what I meant for going in the future, like next year, if it's a 2-day conference, could the board only be there one day and do intensive board stuff? Just to look at it, not to like do anything this year.
Okay. All right, we can talk about that more and discuss future years.
Yeah. Any other sharing?
Just looking forward to seeing you all on Thursday, the 11th, at the Board and Brews.
Thank you for signing us up.
Yes, thank you, Jane.
We're up to like 90 people coming.
Okay. With that, we're at item 6, the superintendent report.
We did have one person speak last month. This week, Nora will be setting up a time for me to contact them next week, so I can, and they did send in both of the comments they made, so that was great, so I'll have references to go right from there rather than jotting down notes from the meeting. Recognitions, graduation, that was one of mine, and that was beautiful, because I couldn't say it any better. And the other one was just, we have a new website. Really, thank you to technology, specifically Debbie Metz for getting that up and running, go through it. We're still reviewing it to make sure all the links and everything are working. We did find one glitch with the app and how that's connecting to it. So she is painstakingly going through that today and working with BOCES to make sure that app is linking up everything correctly. And that's all I have right now. Congratulations to all the seniors and everyone for moving up to the next year of school.
Something I noticed this morning, under the staff resources, which I love, that's in the header and it's not on the HR page anymore. I wasn't able to get into email, but that link now seems to be working, so scratch that.
That's what we're working on.
Yeah, okay, was that one of the links that was broken?
It could have been. I know
Yeah.
there was one where I clicked on something and I got 404 page undefined, but if there's anything
Okay.
you can't, just email me directly and I'll pass it along to Matt, because he's sitting there waiting to hear all these answers.
It looks really good, though. It's clean.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Please pass that along to Deb if you would, Matt.
It definitely looks amazing. Just one quick question, Doug.
She's watching.
No. Congratulations, Deb. I hear she's watching.
Congratulations. Just one quick question, Doug. On one of the letters that we got, they were talking about transportation for pre-K.
Oh,
What is
yes.
our current policy?
Currently, we are not, so, I forgot about that letter. So currently, I haven't had time, I'll be working with the Director of Transportation, getting back to that individual, and then also I'll bring that to the board as a letter once I have the appropriate information on it. Currently, we do not transport kids for UPK. When we started with it, they started at a different time, they start at 9 o'clock, so we wouldn't be able to add an additional bus run. Could you change their starting time? Yes, you could. But where we ran into trouble before is all the students were going to one building, Marilla, coming from the whole district. So we don't have buses, so there'd be a huge inequity there. We still have that. So Alma is the only building that all the students going to Alma live in the Alma district. The other two, because there's two classes and the overflow goes to those, they have students that we would not be able to transport. So then how do you decide which student would be in which building to get transportation? And that's what I want to look into and, give information to the board on.
Okay.
Also, the seatbelt requirements, I want to make sure I'm right on the age of that. Eric has informed me, but I haven't memorized it.
Okay, item 7, do we have any guests to be recognized for agenda items?
We do not.
Okay. 8, discussion on the agenda. I just want to point out when it comes to the agenda, like for example, this is 10.01 through 22.12, and I want to give Jane extra credit for this, just to point this out to the people watching at home, that the board receives the agenda in advance of the meeting. So when we approve it as a consensus agenda, we've had time to look over the agenda, view it, and formulate any questions we have, just so the public and everyone knows that we do get this ahead of time and we are, familiar with it.
I just want to jump in. We got a lot of people to welcome to Iroquois. So Alexis Andres is joining us. She'll be special ed in Wales. Chelsea Miller will be joining us for music in the middle school. Jared Wild will be joining us for health in the high school. Aaron Moynihan will be joining us as a counselor in the middle school. Colleen Gartler is actually coming back to us. She left for a little while, come back as a teacher assistant in the high school. Drew Braun will be filling in a long-term sub in the high school as a counselor. Jessica Gantz will be a senior clerk typist in Marilla. And Melissa DeJoseph will be a part-time cleaner in Marilla. And I want to thank Miss Linda Bergman, who is retiring, and she had a great impact on a lot of kids over at Alma as a teacher aide. So I just want to wish her the best as she goes into retirement.
Any further discussion? Okay, 9.01, are there requests to withdraw any items? Okay, 9.02, are there requests to add any items? Okay, 9.03, request a motion to approve consensus agenda items 10.01 through 22.12 with the superintendent's recommendation.
So moved.
Second? Was there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. By Jane, second by Keith. Discussion? All in favor?
Heather Becker will abstain.
Heather Becker will be abstaining. All in favor? All opposed? Passes unanimously with Heather Becker abstaining. Okay. Sorry. We're going to 23.01, recognition of guests for topics not on the agenda. Do we have any?
No.
We do not need an executive session.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to move to adjournment. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
First by Jane, second by Keith. Discussion?
Well, since I've already started taking over for Chuck, no, just kidding.
Well, I was going to
Miss
jump
you,
in
Chuck.
there too. This is a shorter meeting. Obviously, it's new. It's a new year, so we're just getting started. But it's more than made up at the district planning conference. So I want to thank the board for their committing to 2 days to come in and have in-depth discussions and hear what all the principals have to say in different departments. So thank you for that time. I think the public should be aware, since you're volunteers, that you do make that sacrifice from your regular work days and schedules.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned. Passed unanimously. Hey, thank you, everyone.